not a good thing for Kate if Tom was right in the argument because Tom is slow. Tom told Kate that she could have done a better job getting rid of the letter instead of just throwing it down the stairs hoping somebody would pick it up, and then later Tyson kicked it under the couch. That was Kate's fault. Kate had no strategy with the letter. What is up, everybody? Here with my thoughts on episode 8 of House of Villains season 3, where I unfortunately feel like we have yet another competition reality show limping to an end. Although this episode was entertaining, I'm starting to feel like I felt at the beginning of this season, where the actual gaming within the game isn't really speaking to me, I guess. We came into this episode needing to know who Kate's third nominee would be. She, of course, nominated Tyson and Tom to break that up. She ended up choosing Christine as the third nominee, which to me meant that she didn't want to get into it with New York, even though she suspects that New York is very close to Tyson and Tom, which is true. But as Kate said at the beginning of the episode, New York is shockingly charming. And at the beginning of the episode, New York appreciated Kate not putting her up, but New York was not happy that Tyson and Tom were both on the hit list, as that is who she has been working with lately. The one person I did enjoy in this episode on a game level was Paul. He is considering himself a free agent at this point. He is trying to convince everybody he has nobody, which is kind of true. He has really flipped it where he is needed for a number this round, which is something good players tend to do. And just a couple episodes ago, Paul was on the bottom, possibly being voted out. And now here he is. Or others want him to be a number for them, which is what happened in this episode. Because Tyson and Tom did have the idea that if one of them could win the redemption, the other one can vote for the other to stay, they would have New York's vote, but they just had to convince Paul to be that third vote. Paul did have a couple of hiccups, though, at the beginning of this episode. In a conversation with Christine and New York, he was telling Christine that she could stay. He and New York can vote for her to stay, and New York did not enjoy Paul saying where her vote is going to go. It could have created, I guess, more tension between Christine and New York. But I also understood what Paul was doing. As someone who watches a lot of Big Brother live feeds, you just say a lot of bullshit to some people, which is what I think Paul was doing in that situation. And it's something Paul has always done in games, just say a lot of bullshit and make everybody think that he has their back. And it was easier for him in this episode to do that because he has positioned himself where he was needed as a number. I think I am rooting for Paul or Drita to win this season at this point. Paul, because I do think he has been able to play a versatile game that has also been entertaining on a game level, at least to me. And maybe Paul can finally win a show. I like Drita because she does whatever she wants and she votes for whoever she wants. She doesn't get caught up in all of these stupid big alliances that happened early in the season. She has always seen that Tyson and Tom together are a threat of a duo. She has had a great social game, always voting to keep the person that gets voted out, and those are the people that vote in the end. I think Drita has played, funnily enough, one of the better social games this season, even with her reputation coming in. At one point in this episode, Kate and Drita were watching New York yapping it up with Tyson and Tom. That's when Tyson was trying to come up with a plan to get Paul's vote with them. They did have a sit down with Paul trying to get Paul's vote, but as I said, Paul is playing both sides at this point. The redemption challenge was interesting because we got to see friends of some of the people come into the game, come into the show. I didn't know most of them, but Tom Swartz for Tom Sandoval, who was on the show with Tom, I do know Gervais, an original survivor, was played a season with Tyson too. He helped Tyson in the challenge, and some random girl came to play with Christine. Tyson and Gervais won the redemption challenge, so Tyson again safe. But after that, we saw people from everyone else's shows come in too. Paul had Josh come from Big Brother 19. We had Ben for Kate from Below Deck. We had Chance for New York. Drita's kid came. So they had a fun time, but it did turn into some drama when New York and Kate got into it. When New York was telling Kate that Tom really wants to stay. Kate, of course, annoyed that New York wants to keep Tom. And I think Kate also annoyed with herself that she didn't nominate New York in the first place, especially if they were just going to end up getting into a fight anyway, which they did. I understand Kate's frustration with New York here because Kate has been trying to work with New York and Kate kept New York safe. But New York is so gung ho about working with Tyson and Tom, and I think New York also feels sorry for Tom for whatever reason. So yeah, Kate and New York got into a fight. New York didn't like that Kate actually fought back this time for once. People have been calling them Lucy and Ethel. I liked when New York said Lucy and Ethel are dead. New York had a great episode of being funny. This was arguably her funniest episode. She had some good lines during her confessionals as well. While Josh was in the game, he was giving Paul some tips about what maybe Paul should do. Maybe Paul should keep Tyson and Tom in the game as like big targets in front of him. That is a strategy that works for some people. It has worked for Paul in the past. There was some more drama at the whole party with everyone and their old castmates when they played a little game, and Kate said that the person she trusted the least was Tom. And Kate is actually wrong in this scenario because Tom, I do think, wanted to try to have Kate's back with the whole letter situation, that stupid twist in the last episode. Tom wanted to tell Kate about the letter, but Kate found the letter before Tom could talk to her. And now Kate is holding on to that grudge when she is kind of wrong about that grudge. And Tom was right in this argument with Kate. And it's not a good thing for Kate if Tom was right in the argument because Tom is slow. Tom told Kate that she could have done a better job getting rid of the letter instead of just throwing it down the stairs hoping somebody would pick it up, and then later Tyson kicked it under the couch. That was Kate's fault. Kate had no strategy with the letter. And it's something that has bugged me this entire season with Kate's game. I know people find Kate so entertaining, and she is entertaining. But the whole nonchalant attitude and act about the game really does get old, and it has gotten old for me over these past couple episodes with Kate because she wants to hold these grudges over people playing the game when she could have done a better job with the letter. So I don't normally like players like Kate in a game, especially in games like Big Brother, that are just so nonchalant but want to get their feelings hurt about certain things and then hold grudges about them. Doesn't really work for me. Kate's been actually on too much over the past couple episodes. I get that this is a Peacock Bravo universe show, so they saw that Kate and Tom were entertaining on the Traitors, but these last few episodes they've been over edited into the episodes, and I don't really think it's necessarily entertaining anymore. It has gotten stale, and this episode didn't really conclude anything in the end from that still storyline going on in this show. Anyways, to wrap this up, Tyson tried to lock in that 4 with Paul and New York and Tom and Tyson, but Tom, being his idiot self, told Paul it would make him a hero to keep Tom in the game. And Paul didn't like that word use because they are on House of Villains, so why would he want to be a hero? And then Drita, being her usual savvy social game self, is ready to weaken Tyson and Tom and get Tom out of here. So we end the episode on a tie vote. This came after Christine gave one of her many incoherent talks where she was trying to say why she should stay in the game, but it was just blabbering about nothing per usual, which is all Christine has brought to this damn season. I think Christine is another reason why, as the season goes along, it's still limping, because people like Christine still being in the game when they've brought absolutely nothing to this season. Christine has brought nothing to this season whatsoever except for incoherent nonsense. But this is also just a weak cliffhanger, because in what world would Kate vote out Christine over Tom in this tie vote? It would make no sense to the entire edit, where they have beat us over the head the past few episodes that there is this Kate and Tom rivalry happening, and it's certainly still now. So I want Kate to vote out Tom so we can move on from this stale storyline.